Hello, and a very warm welcome back to the garden.
So we are super excited to have the infamous Huw Richards with us here at Freedom Forest today. And Huw, tell us what your first impressions are of Freedom Forest.
The first impressions was, I just love the fact that every single time you turn a corner, there's like a new space or like a new room to enjoy. And so we're walking through and you're like, oh, but you haven't seen this. And we just turned the corner. I was like, what? And yeah, it's just amazing, really. It's just all of these different nooks and crannies and rooms that you've created. And yeah, it's abundant. It feels luscious. You would have no idea that this was like a wasteland before. Yeah. You guys have worked really, really hard. And there's been some surprises. I think I've learned a few things that I'm going to be taking back with me.
Yeah, the secrets of Freedom Forest.
Yeah, you'll see them in my garden next.
So one of the things that Huw is interested in here that we grow is our yacon. So we are going to do an experiment today with harvesting some yacon, and this is something that me and Dan have been thinking about for a while, and so we thought we would celebrate
Huw's here.
Yeah, we'd celebrate Huw's visit.
But you wouldn't usually harvest yacon this?
No, we wouldn't normally harvest yacon right now, and that is part of the experiment because yacon is normally a winter harvest. And some of our plants, where we have an abundance of them here, we didn't actually need to harvest last year and we left them in the ground.
Just showing off.
And so we are really intrigued to find out if the tubers that are left on the plants stay on the plants and grow bigger for the following year, or if they actually dissolve and get eaten by the plant and used for energy and just make a bigger plant. Because we have read about yacon that if you don't harvest it in the first year, the second year you'll get an even bigger harvest. So we're going to go and check it out and see what is actually going on with the yacon under the ground on the 1st of September.
This is more exciting than Christmas.
Can't see any tubers yet.
Oh, I can feel tubers.
Oh.
What's that there?
That's a rock. You can see, look, how this plant is already naturally dividing. That would be one plant.
Yeah.
That would be another plant. So when they get to a certain size...
And you can see these little tubes.
Yeah, that's a beautiful growing tip there, you see?
Look at that.
Yeah, you can take that one home with you.
Thank you. I'm off then. That's all I came for. I'm kidding, I'm coming back. Right. I can feel some things.
Yeah. Normally,
yeah,
they can be coming out all of the sides.
That was
Oh, it could be mush.
Ooh! That is definitely mushy.
Oh, so there's a couple there.
Interesting. This looks like, this is what I put my hand in, that.
Oh yeah.
I'll show you the camera. That's what I stuck my hand in.
So, I would say...
What's your verdict?
That looks like a mix. I reckon these lighter tubers here...
Yeah.
If I can get this one off.
They look like... Dark,
yeah. That looks like a fresh tuber for this year. And that looks like a last year's tuber. But certainly for a plant this size, we would expect a lot more tubers. Yeah, maybe the rats have been in as well. So, I don't know. I think the jury is still out. I can definitely see that some of these tubers have disappeared. So it could well be that they do break down and give back to the plant. But there are some amazing growing tips on this plant. And yeah, what you can see is just how it's really naturally wanting to divide into segments. And so that would be a lovely segment of this plant just to replant, to put straight back in the ground and give you a whole nother plant. So that plant here, we've got 1, 2, 3, at least 4 or 5 really clear segments of how you can divide yacon down. And yeah, one of the things that we find is definitely the bigger growing tip or rhizome that you plant back, the better start you get, and the more you kind of hit the ground running.
This really does, you know, you can tell that this is like a lot of wood chip.
Yeah.
As well, and it's at quite some depth as well. It's not just a little like covering; it is deep wood chip.
Yeah, and that's definitely been our key to success with growing yacon, is having a really deep, loose soil. And yeah, I mean that actually is really quite dry as well. We've not watered this yacon at all, other than the rain, the whole summer.
Is it because you're lazy, or?
Yeah, we're pretty lazy gardeners.
No, I wouldn't water yacon.
We are pretty lazy gardeners when it comes to watering, but only because we're off grid and so we have limited water supply.
And I just caught you just now. You forgot to water your seedlings.
I did, yeah.
I do the same.
We're all out of sync here with our special guest, and I just went into the polytunnel.
Wow, take some responsibility.
And realised that
that
I hadn't watered my seedlings this morning, but luckily they're all good. So all is not lost, and certainly all is not lost when we've got the legendary gardener Huw Richards here.
I'm taking my growing tips home, thank you. So a hypothesis is that if you've got the younger and the older, and you're kind of, you know, you need a bit of food, the hypothesis is that if you didn't cut it down and you just did some excavating and you found some of the darker tubers, you could safely remove them from the plant without impacting this year's growth. So we could, you know, that's probably a way around it. But I think we should actually do a taste test and see if there's a difference.
It's one of Murph's favourite snacks, it's yacon.
Well-trained dog.
So we're going to do the taste test now, and we're going to see the difference between one of the younger looking tubers and an older looking tuber. So let's see what we find inside. There's another bit for Murph there. So yeah, that one looks really nice and crisp still. Really fresh. Oh, that one looks a little bit fresher again.
So this is a lighter colour, this is a slightly darker colour. You can just about see the difference in shading.
So I take a bit of the skin back. And we do eat the skin, but it does have a slightly bitter taste to it. So we'll take that off now. And normally for optimum flavour with the yacon, we would leave them out of the ground in a warm place or in the sun for a few days, and then they really sweeten up. And they do sometimes wrinkle up a little bit as well, but that's when they taste the sweetest.
I remember when I had bought some yacon to grow, but I heard about like curing it and stuff, and I just left it on the potting bench in the polytunnel for about a week. And I bit into it like an apple, and I was like, okay, I need to grow this thing. It was quite an experience.
It's really sweet, and actually I wouldn't mind betting that this older tuber is going to be a lot sweeter, because this sort of yellow in colour that you can see going through this older one here is actually the colour they go often when they're sweeter. So let's give it a whirl.
Okay.
Oh, Mum's going to get that bit.
I got it.
Oh, there's a big bit here. Murph, this isn't for you, okay? I know you don't understand that. Okay.
Right. Older or younger first?
You choose.
We'll go for the younger one.
Okay, so younger tuber.
That's still very pleasant.
It's just got a lovely freshness to it. It's a bit like eating a cucumber, but with just a slight more sweetness to it, even when they haven't been sweetened up. Cucumber without seeds.
Nice. That's the older one.
There's a subtle difference, eh?
Yeah, I feel like the taste doesn't linger, but maybe it's like slightly sweeter, but the taste doesn't linger.
I think the older one
I should stick to gardening.
I think the older one feels slightly more watery in your mouth, but the younger one is more crispy. They're both crispy, but the younger one kind of holds its crisp.
This is a lot more cucumbery. And the older one is cucumbery.
They're both really nice though. Amazing. Harvesting yacon in September.
Not bad.
Breaking boundaries with gardening.
That's what we need to do. Right, this is mine.
Huw, it has been an absolute pleasure having you with us this weekend.
I've enjoyed it.
Thank you so much for coming, and we cannot wait to see the videos that you're going to produce from the amazing footage that you've taken here this weekend. Guys, I hope you have enjoyed this extra special video today starring the amazing Huw Richards. If you have, be sure to click the thumbs up button just below this video. Drop us any comments or questions down below, as we love hearing from you guys. Make sure you are subscribed to Freedom Forest Life to see more videos like this, and especially if you want Huw Richards to come back and visit for more filming and more videos another time. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you here again soon. Peace and plants.
Thank you.
Oh!